Chosen one, if you're seeing this right now, it means heaven has scheduled an appointment with your spirit. This is not a regular message. This is a divine summons. What you're hearing isn't entertainment. It's a revelation, a warning, an invitation, all at once. This moment is sacred, and it's not random. You didn't stumble upon this video by coincidence. You weren't scrolling aimlessly, whether you clicked intentionally or paused for a few seconds out of curiosity. God has captured your attention for a reason. Something is happening in the spirit realm. A divine wave has already been set in motion. The spiritual atmosphere around the earth is shifting, and this message is your confirmation of what your soul has been sensing but couldn't yet name. Have you felt it? The emotional heaviness that comes and goes without explanation, the sudden changes in people around you, the urge to separate from certain patterns, places, or people without fully knowing why. That persistent restlessness in your spirit, even when everything on the outside looks fine. These are not coincidences. They're spiritual indicators, alarms, warnings. God is moving. He's resetting the spiritual order, realigning destinies, and cleansing what has been corrupted or compromised. This is a divine reset, and it's not just global, it's personal. It's about your heart, your alignment, your calling. And now God is saying, protect your spirit before the shift intensifies. This isn't the time to be distracted. This isn't the time to be spiritually passive or emotionally numb. You are being called to wake up fully. No more delay, no more waiting for a sign. This is the sign, and only those who are spiritually awake will know how to respond when everything begins to shake. God is making a clear distinction in this hour between those who are playing with the call and those who are walking in it. You're not here to blend in. You were chosen to rise. You were chosen to lead. You were chosen to carry light when darkness grows louder. That's why the warfare has been heavier lately. That's why your isolation has increased. That's why your clarity has been under attack, because you're on heaven's radar. Now, before we go deeper into what's about to happen, I want you to do something prophetic, something symbolic, something that aligns your spirit with this message in a visible way. Comment the number 999 below. Why 999? Because 999 is the number of divine completion and spiritual awakening. It means something is ending, but not in fear, in fulfillment. It means the cycle of delay is over, that heaven is closing the chapter of who you used to be and opening the scroll of who you're becoming. It represents finality in the natural and activation in the supernatural. When you comment 999, you're not just participating, you're prophesying, you're agreeing with what heaven is doing in your life. You're saying, God, I hear you. I'm awake. I'm ready. Let your comment be more than a tap on the screen. Let it be a declaration that shakes the spirit realm. Type it boldly, type it prayerfully, and type it knowing that every keystroke is a signal to God. This one is listening. And while we're here, let me pause to say thank you to every single chosen one who has donated through Super Thanks. Your support is not only seen, but deeply honored. Because of you, this message reaches further. It touches more lives. It awakens more spirits. You are not just giving, you are sowing into spiritual territory. And if you feel led to join in that, thank you in advance. But even if you don't donate a cent, please hear this. You are still loved, still valued, and still welcome. Your presence is a gift. Your attention is sacred. Now I need you to stay until the very end of this message. I promise you, if your spirit felt drawn to this word, it's because there are specific instructions for your life hidden in what comes next. Don't let fear make you scroll away. Don't let doubt convince you this doesn't matter, because what's ahead of you requires clarity, and clarity comes only when you stay present long enough to hear God out. So, breathe, focus, prepare your heart. The shift is already happening, and God is about to reveal exactly what you need to know before it begins. Let's go deeper now. God's chosen ones, you need to know this right now. Chosen one, a divine wave is rising. Not just a moment, not just a shift, but a cosmic recalibration sent by the hand of God himself. A spiritual force, invisible yet unstoppable, is preparing to sweep across the earth. Can you feel the pressure building in your spirit? This isn't imagination. This is the final warning before the storm of transformation. And those who are unprepared, those who laughed it off or scrolled past, will soon find themselves overwhelmed by what they didn't believe was real. This is not a time for hesitation. God is sounding the alarm in your soul because you are not ordinary, you are chosen. This awakening isn't random. It is precise, calculated, and divinely timed. And you, chosen one, are being called to position yourself for what is about to happen. But are you spiritually armored for the coming flood? Are your roots planted deep enough to withstand what's on the horizon? But the Lord is faithful. He will establish you and guard you against the evil one. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. Think of Noah. While others mocked the idea of rain, Noah obeyed God's warning and built an ark. He was ridiculed until the rain came. Then he became the only one who was ready. What if your obedience right now is the ark that will carry you through the flood? What if your preparation is the very thing that separates survival from destiny? Just like Noah, there are modern-day examples of divine preparation and favor. Take Oprah Winfrey, a woman who faced deep trauma and hardship but never abandoned her spiritual roots. She consistently speaks about divine timing and the inner preparation that came long before her outer success. Her story is one of radical reset, from pain to power, from despair to global influence. What does that tell you about the importance of inner alignment before breakthrough? You are now being positioned at the edge of the spiritual ocean, where a mighty wave is about to crash. The choice before you is clear. Will you ride the wave or be buried beneath it? Will you allow God's reset to elevate you, or will you resist and be caught off guard? This shift will not look like what the world expects. It's not political, it's not cultural, it's spiritual, and it will expose everything that's not aligned with truth. But you, chosen one, are being equipped to not just survive it, but to lead others through it. This is a divine assignment. But have you fully surrendered to your preparation? Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6:11. Look at Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for decades, yet his time in isolation became his preparation. The world saw captivity, but God saw consecration. When the time came, Mandela wasn't just released, he was raised. What if the delays and confinements in your life have not been punishment, but preparation for leadership in the new world that is coming? Spiritual protection isn't simply about avoiding danger. It's about choosing divine alignment over worldly distraction. It's about allowing the Holy Spirit to guard your emotions, your thoughts, your discernment. The enemy is cunning. He won't come at you with fire. He'll come with distraction, doubt, delay. That's why God is calling you now, to prepare before it's too late. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 27:12. Chosen one, don't think the signs around you are coincidence. The rising unrest, the strange sense that something massive is coming, these are spiritual contractions. The world is groaning, and you, chosen one, are being awakened not to panic, but to lead. Look at Malala Yousafzai, targeted by extremists at a young age, but chosen by God to speak truth to the world. Even after facing death, her voice only grew louder. Why? Because her purpose was sealed in heaven long before man tried to silence her. Likewise, what has tried to silence you lately? Could it be the very indicator that your voice carries weight in this next season? When you feel that pull to retreat and recalibrate, listen to it. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. The divine reset will not wait for you to be ready. It will arrive with or without your consent, but only the prepared will rise with it. Only the faithful will understand what is happening while others crumble in confusion. And you were chosen to know, you were chosen to lead. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Matthew 24:42. Think of Steve Jobs, who spoke often about intuition and spiritual insight guiding his biggest decisions, even retreating to silence and simplicity before launching the world-changing innovations we now live with. His path was less about noise, more about inner clarity. You too must retreat from the noise of this world if you want to clearly hear God's next instructions for you. So, what is God whispering to you in this moment? What doors is He urging you to close before this shift arrives? What preparation has He already begun in you that you've been ignoring or postponing? Because here's the truth: the reset will not stop for anyone. It is coming with divine force, and only those who have been spiritually rooted will be able to withstand it. You've been chosen not for your perfection, but for your obedience. Not for your image, but for your alignment. The moment of reckoning is near. This is your final preparation window. What you do now determines what you'll become after the shift. While the world clings to comfort, you are called into consecration. While others panic, you will stand in power if you prepare. Chosen one, hear this truth with your spirit. To be chosen by God does not mean your path will be easy. In fact, it often means your trials will be heavier, your storms more intense, and your tests more frequent. Why? Because those who are set apart carry the responsibility of divine transformation, not just for themselves, but for others as well. Have you ever wondered why your life seems harder than most, even though you seek only good? Why challenges seem to find you again and again, despite your prayers and faithfulness? It's because you are not ordinary. You are marked for more. God allows the fire not to destroy you, but to refine you. The divine reset that is approaching will not exclude you, but it will exalt you if you are willing to stand firm, endure, and emerge stronger on the other side. Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery trial when it comes upon you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. 1 Peter 4:12. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. Before becoming a household name, she faced deep poverty, rejection from multiple publishers, and single motherhood. But in her darkest hour, she clung to belief in her purpose, belief in the unseen. What if the pressure you're under isn't a punishment, but preparation for your breakthrough? What if the battle you're facing now is the spiritual labor before the birth of your divine assignment? This divine reset is not an ending, it is a clearing. God is sweeping through the earth with spiritual force, purging what no longer serves, dismantling systems of deception, and revealing truth in its purest form. And you, chosen one, are part of this global recalibration. You are not just surviving these shifts, you are meant to interpret them, embody them, and help others navigate them. Every branch that bears fruit, He prunes, that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. What makes you different is not your appearance or even your accomplishments. What sets you apart is your spiritual sight, your ability to discern what others overlook. While many focus on survival, you are called to transcend, to not just make it through, but to ascend into spiritual awareness, into divine clarity, and into your rightful role as a guide for this generation. Think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't just a leader, he was a vessel of moral awakening. He saw beyond laws and into the soul of a nation. Even when imprisoned or threatened, his spiritual clarity never dimmed. Like him, you may feel alone in your convictions, misunderstood in your calling, but know this: your alignment with truth is what gives you authority in this shift. This coming transformation is not simply a global shift, it's a spiritual cleansing. Do you feel the build-up of pressure in the atmosphere? Have you sensed the sudden unease in the hearts of people around you? That's not coincidence. It's the stirrings of a divine disruption meant to shake off the dust, the confusion, the collective spiritual fog that has blinded millions. But every cleansing storm has a purpose. Just as the earth uses a storm to renew the land, God uses spiritual storms to strip away the false so the authentic can rise. And you, chosen one, are not called to fear the wind. You're called to walk on it. You are not the debris being tossed. You are the lighthouse that others will look to as the skies darken. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. Consider Elon Musk, not for his fame, but for how he repeatedly disrupted what was thought impossible. Electric cars, reusable rockets, digital currency, each move went against the grain. But disruption is a spiritual principle too. God often disrupts comfort to bring forth purpose. Could it be that the disruptions in your life are not setbacks but signs? What is God trying to clear out of your path so he can install something greater? This wave that is coming, this spiritual force, will touch all people. But for those who are chosen, it will hit differently. Others may panic, but you will perceive. Others will resist, but you will recognize. For you, it won't just be about change. It will be about elevation. Yes, it will test you. It will bring up buried fears and unhealed wounds, but it will also shape you, polish you, and set your spirit ablaze. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken. Isaiah 54:10. Look at Rosa Parks. Her one act of stillness shifted a nation. It wasn't her strength, her wealth, or her fame. It was her divine positioning. Like her, you don't need to do something loud to change the world. Sometimes, the shift you cause comes from the stillness in your spirit and the clarity of your soul. What simple act is God calling you to take right now that could trigger a ripple far beyond what you see? Chosen one, you must ride this wave, but not as a victim of circumstance, as a surfer of prophecy. The wave may roar, but you are grounded in faith. The winds may howl, but you are centered in divine purpose. You are not alone. You were never meant to face this wave without direction. God is your compass, your anchor, your lifeboat, and your strength. And when it gets intense, when the pressure increases and your old beliefs begin to crumble, remember this: God doesn't break you to hurt you. He breaks what binds you. Chosen one, everything you've endured has led to this. The pain, the isolation, the strange coincidences that disrupted your plans, they were never random. They were preparation. You have been spiritually trained for a moment like this, and now that moment is here. This divine wave that is moving across the earth is not here to crush you. It's here to elevate you. But elevation requires faith. It requires that you recognize what's happening and that you trust that God has already built you strong enough to stand in it. Have you ever wondered why you couldn't walk away from your faith, even when things made no sense? Why you kept getting pulled back into spiritual alignment, no matter how far you drifted? That's not weakness. That's spiritual selection. You were chosen before the foundation of the world to stand in this very hour. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. Look at Harriet Tubman, born into slavery with no formal training, no worldly advantage. Yet she became the conductor of freedom because she obeyed a spiritual voice others couldn't hear. When the divine shift came in her life, she didn't back down. She rose up. She moved in secrecy, strength, and faith, and she carried others with her. This is your Harriet moment, chosen one. You've been prepared not just to survive this wave, but to ride it, to lead in it, to be the light others follow when their world begins to shake. But here's what few understand. Spiritual power requires spiritual protection. The energy God is about to release can't be handled casually. It's like standing in front of a waterfall. Beautiful, mighty, but potentially overwhelming if you're not grounded. Are you ready to receive the surge without being swept away? Is your spirit anchored, or are you still open to the distractions that dilute your discernment? Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. You see, chosen one, this isn't about building walls. It's about building foundations. Protection doesn't mean hiding from the world. It means being so spiritually aligned that nothing the world throws at you can shake your clarity. Prayer is your power line. Meditation is your grounding cord. Obedience is your shield. Just as Simone Biles stepped back from the Olympic spotlight, not in weakness but in wisdom, you too must discern when to rest, when to speak, and when to move in the Spirit. Her decision was mocked at first, but in time it was honored. Why? Because she valued her foundation more than the world's applause. Likewise, don't be afraid to pause when God tells you to. That stillness is not a setback, it's sacred strategy. The world is polluted with energy that clouds the soul. Fear, bitterness, envy, spiritual fog. But you have been given sight beyond the surface. The divine reset is like a thunderstorm that purifies the air. It's not here to harm. It's here to clear the path for the Spirit to move freely. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Psalm 51:10. Think of a deep spring cleaning. You don't just tidy up, you dig deep, dust off the hidden corners, and throw out what no longer serves you. That's what God is doing with your soul. He's not just rearranging furniture, He's rebuilding the house. The bitterness you thought you buried, the self-doubt you tolerated, the pain you never grieved, He's bringing it to the surface not to hurt you, but to heal you. Chosen one, you may feel the discomfort rising, the unease, the strange emotions surfacing, but don't panic, don't retreat. These are not signs of failure, they're signs of healing. They are the soul's way of detoxing from decades of spiritual noise. You are being emptied so you can be filled. Just as Michael Jordan once described using failure as fuel, returning stronger after every setback, you too must see these uncomfortable spiritual stretches not as evidence that you're doing something wrong, but as confirmation that you're growing into something greater. What if your pain is the portal to your power? I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. Chosen one, this is not a passive reset. It's not something that just happens while you sit and wait. God is calling you into partnership. This is a co-creation moment. You must choose to align, to walk boldly into what He's doing. This is your time to act, not react, to step forward, not shrink back. When God says move, don't wait for perfect conditions. Obedience is your activation. Surrender is your strategy. Alignment is your access point. When you start flowing with God instead of resisting Him, doors open that no man can shut. Consider Greta Thunberg, a young voice who shook global systems. She didn't wait to be old enough or qualified. She aligned with conviction, and her fire became contagious. Like Greta, you may feel small, but when your spirit is aligned with divine purpose, your voice carries heaven's authority. So, let me ask you again, What's stopping you from rising? What limiting belief still has power over you? Why hesitate when you've already been chosen? This moment isn't coming. It's here, and the power that is being released will either crush those who resist or carry those who are ready. You were never meant to drown in this wave. You were destined to lead through it. If you stay aligned with God, if you protect your spirit, guard your heart, and walk in truth, you'll find that everything begins to make sense. Clarity will flood your mind, strength will return to your body, and peace will guard your soul like never before. Chosen one, the entire world will feel the tremor of this divine shift, but not everyone will respond the same. Why? Because though the wave is global, the response is personal. While others panic or search for answers, you will understand the signs. You've been quietly prepared in secret for a moment that will soon unfold in public. This is not coincidence. This is divine alignment. What have you been sensing in your spirit lately? A subtle pulling away from the noise, a desire for silence, reflection, and prayer. That's not random. That's the Spirit tuning you to God's frequency. And now you're about to see why. The Lord confides in those who fear him. He makes his covenant known to them. Psalm 25:14. Look at Florence Nightingale, the mother of modern nursing. She wasn't just tending wounds. She was carrying divine compassion into chaos. Her quiet dedication in the background led to a public revolution in healthcare. The chosen often walk an invisible path until the moment they are revealed for their purpose. You, chosen one, are about to step into your own unveiling. For those walking in faith, this divine shift will feel like activation. You'll sense a spiritual unlocking, your gift sharpen, your purpose clarified, your boldness restored. The veil between you and divine instruction will become thinner. Conversations with God will become clearer. But what about those who haven't been walking in alignment? What happens when the shift reaches those unprepared? They'll feel it too. But it may come with confusion, disorientation, or emotional heaviness. That's not punishment, it's spiritual contrast. The same wave that lifts a surfer will flatten a structure with no foundation. Are you spiritually fortified to ride this wave? Or are you just hoping to survive it? He will be the sure foundation for your times, a rich store of salvation and wisdom and knowledge. Isaiah 33:6. Think of Chadwick Boseman. The world knew him as a powerful actor, but behind the scenes he was battling terminal illness. Privately, prayerfully, gracefully. His purpose never faltered. He used his final years not in despair, but in impact. He filmed physically demanding roles while spiritually anchored. What about you? Are you prepared to fulfill your calling even when no one knows the depth of your battle? The line between the prepared and the unprepared is not about superiority, it's about positioning. God doesn't show favoritism, he honors faithfulness. This difference isn't permanent, but it is revealing. It shows who has chosen intimacy with God and who has chosen distance. Chosen one, what have you chosen lately? Comfort or calling? Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. James 4:8. Those who have nurtured their spiritual life will see this shift as an invitation, not a threat. They'll move with clarity while others stumble in confusion. This is not to boast, but to build. Because those who rise will be asked to help others navigate what they can't yet understand. That's part of your calling, not just to ascend, but to lift others along the way. Think of Desmond Doss, the army medic who refused to carry a weapon, mocked by others, misunderstood, but steadfast in his faith. He ended up saving 75 men in a single night during World War II. His spiritual clarity allowed him to do what logic said was impossible. Your clarity in this moment may also defy logic, but it will save lives. This isn't about exclusion. The door is still open. Anyone, yes anyone, can step into alignment with God and become one of the chosen. But timing matters. Opportunity doesn't wait forever. The chosen ones are not randomly selected. They're spiritually positioned. They have been praying when others were playing, listening when others were laughing, building their inner strength when the world was too loud to hear the call. Many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. Even Tyler Perry, once homeless and rejected, kept creating plays no one would come to see. But he stayed obedient to the inner prompting that told him to keep going. And when the shift came, he didn't just walk into success. He brought others with him. Now, entire communities are employed and inspired by the legacy of his obedience. Could it be that your preparation today is meant to create a platform for generations tomorrow? Let me ask you, are you being faithful in obscurity? Are you building when no one's watching? Are you listening when the noise of life tells you to scroll, distract, and delay? Chosen one, the transformation is not about hierarchy. It's about hunger. God responds to hearts that pursue him. If you've already been walking this path, then this moment will be a breakthrough. If you're just now waking up to it, that's okay. The key is to respond now. This wave does not judge, it reveals. It reveals who's ready and who's resistant. And you, chosen one, were never meant to ride the fence. You were meant to lead the charge. Chosen one, when the divine shift begins, it will be unmistakable. This is not something that will merely stir in your heart or whisper in your thoughts. No, this will be a visible and undeniable move of God, one that marks the sky, the earth, and your soul all at once. Can you sense it already in the atmosphere? Can you feel the change approaching like a coming storm that doesn't frighten, but awakens? God has promised signs, not vague or subtle, but bold and clear. These won't be mere coincidences or random happenings. They will be holy confirmations. Imagine looking into the heavens and seeing a glow that no man-made light could produce, or hearing a sound in your spirit that causes your soul to tremble, not in fear, but in reverence. I will show wonders in the heavens above and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and billows of smoke. Acts 2:19. Just as Joan of Arc heard divine voices that guided her through war and destiny, you too will hear the unmistakable voice of the divine when the moment arrives. While others explain it away, you will recognize it immediately. It won't just resonate in your ears. It will reverberate through your entire being. Everything will start to feel different. The energy in your home, the nature of your relationships, even the rhythm of your thoughts will shift. Your inner compass will begin pointing more precisely toward your divine assignment. Conversations will change, priorities will rearrange, and those who are not aligned with your destiny may quietly fall away. Have you noticed it already? Some people distancing themselves without explanation, some doors closing without effort. That's not loss, that's alignment. God is removing what can't go where you're headed. See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples, but the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. Isaiah 60:2. Consider Nikola Tesla, who operated in solitude but downloaded brilliant ideas, seemingly from beyond this world. He often spoke of frequencies and vibrations as if he were in tune with something deeper. He once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." He was onto something, and you, chosen one, are being called to attune your spirit to the divine frequency of this shift. The divine reset will be global, but for you, it will feel personal. Others may panic as the world groans with change, but you will feel peace. Why? Because you will know deep in your spirit that this is what you've been prepared for. The fog will lift. What once confused you will suddenly make sense. What once felt delayed will now feel divinely timed. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. John 14:27. Look at Anne Frank. Even in hiding, even surrounded by destruction, she wrote with hope, clarity, and an inner peace that defied her external chaos. She said, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." Her clarity didn't come from circumstance, it came from spirit. Likewise, in this shift, your peace will not come from the news or your environment. It will come from your connection to God. So, will you recognize the signs when they appear? Will you embrace the strange beauty in the sky, the trembling in your spirit, the people who start fading from your life with no warning? Or will you resist, clinging to what's familiar, even as God calls you forward? This is your warning and your invitation. Be like the 5 wise virgins from Jesus' parable. When the divine moment came, they had oil in their lamps. They were ready, not rushing, not scrambling. Their preparation gave them access. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. Matthew 25:13. Think of Barack Obama, who spent years in preparation before stepping into the global spotlight. His rise wasn't sudden. It was the result of readiness meeting timing. And when destiny called, he didn't hesitate. He stepped in. So, too, with you. Your moment may arrive suddenly, but your preparation will determine whether you ascend or hesitate. Staying ready means keeping your spiritual oil full. Daily prayer, disciplined meditation, purity in thought, intentional relationships, and continual alignment with God's will. It means saying yes to the small promptings of the Spirit, because they are preparing you for the sudden release. And yes, distractions will come. In a time of divine change, the enemy sends confusion, temptation, and false urgency, but you must stay grounded. Protect your mind, your energy, your peace. This is not the time to follow every trend, opinion, or fear. Your eyes must remain on the one who commands the storm. Chosen one, while the divine reset is for all, the experience of it will be vastly different depending on your spiritual preparation. For those who have ignored the whispers of God, delayed the call to alignment, or numbed themselves to truth, the shift may feel like a violent shaking, a spiritual earthquake that cracks the ground beneath their feet. But for you, chosen one, this same shaking will be an activation, a moment of profound acceleration. Because you have kept my word about patient endurance, I will keep you from the hour of trial that is coming on the whole world. Revelation 3:10. Imagine trying to swim against the pull of the ocean during a storm, your muscles aching, your vision blurred, your lungs straining for breath. That is what the unprepared will feel as the divine current sweeps through the earth. Not because God is punishing them, but because they refuse to learn how to float in His presence. This moment is not about being better, it's about being ready. And readiness, chosen one, is something you have been cultivating in secret. Think of Frida Kahlo, whose physical suffering never drowned her creativity. Instead, her pain gave birth to a body of work that echoed through time. She didn't fight the storm, she painted through it. And her legacy? Eternal. What if your current struggle is meant to become someone else's survival guide? As the reset unfolds, those not anchored in God will feel lost in the swirl of uncertainty. They will question everything, systems, relationships, even their identity. Their foundation will crumble because it was built on sand. But for you, the shift will feel like a divine wind pushing you forward, not backward. When the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. Proverbs 10:25. Chosen one, have you noticed lately that you see the world differently than most people around you? That even in chaos there's a deep calm within you? That's not ego, that's evidence. Evidence that you've been spiritually wired for this exact moment in history. For those left spiritually asleep, the confusion will be painful, but that pain can be productive if it leads them back to God. This is not the end for them, it's an invitation. The divine reset is not about punishment, it's about purification. Even those who stumble can still rise if they surrender. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love. Joel 2:13. Look at Saul of Tarsus, a persecutor of the early church, feared and hated by many. Yet God met him in a blinding light and transformed him into the Apostle Paul, a giant of the faith. One encounter flipped his entire life. So let me ask you, what if the ones who seem furthest from the truth today are just one encounter away from becoming the next great leaders of light? Even now, God is extending mercy. Even now, the lost can return. The key is recognition. The moment they recognize the shift and surrender instead of resisting, they will begin to awaken. But as the fog lifts, the chosen ones will do more than survive. They will flourish. This is a time of rising, a time where your alignment becomes your advantage. While others are grappling for answers, your clarity will cut through the noise. Your purpose will become sharp. Your confidence will feel unshakable. And your presence, yes, your very presence, will be a lighthouse for those trying to find their way through the storm. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 61. Think of Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned for 27 years. The world thought his influence had ended, but instead he was being refined in isolation. When he emerged, he became not only a leader, but a symbol of unity and resilience. You too have been through seasons of silent refinement, and now your release is at hand. Your voice is rising. Let me ask you, have you underestimated the power God has placed inside you? Have you mistaken your wilderness for weakness? Because what looked like delay was actually divine development, and now you're ready to walk in the fullness of who you were called to be. This reset is not about worldly accolades. It's about spiritual authority. This is about stepping into the role heaven has reserved for you. You don't need everyone to understand. You just need to be obedient to the assignment. Chosen one, your spiritual success will be measured not by applause, but by alignment. Not by recognition, but by radiance. The glow of divine purpose that begins to shine from within you. Consider Corrie ten Boom, who helped hide Jews during the Holocaust and was imprisoned for her faith. She lost her sister in the camps, but never lost her faith. After the war, she preached forgiveness and healing all over the world. She was not just a survivor. She was a sign. So are you. You are not just going through this. You are becoming a signal of hope to others. So what does this all mean for you? It means you are being called to embrace your divine authority, to trust that you've been prepared not just to endure the shift, but to lead through it. While others lose their grip, you will be the one still standing, still praising, still guiding. This is your time to shine, not for pride, but for purpose. You will shine with compassion, wisdom, grace, and clarity. And as you rise, others will follow your light, not your words, but your walk. You are God's chosen one, and this divine reset, it's your platform to become the catalyst of transformation this world desperately needs. Chosen one. In this hour, protecting your spirit is not optional. It's essential. As the divine reset begins to ripple across the world, it is not just the environment that will change. The transformation will begin within, deep in your soul, in your thoughts, in your inner posture toward God. And that internal shift will require a level of spiritual strength and resilience you cannot afford to neglect. Are you guarding your most valuable asset, your spirit, with the care it deserves? This isn't the time to be casual about your spiritual life. It's the time to be vigilant, intentional about what you feed your mind, what you allow to influence your heart, and who you permit to walk closely with you. Distractions are disguised as entertainment. Negativity poses as news. And spiritual fatigue can creep in masked as normal life. But chosen one, you were never created for normal. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one. Ephesians 6:16. Look at Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the German pastor who opposed the Nazi regime. His spiritual clarity cost him his life, but not his soul. Even in prison he wrote, preached and prayed. He protected his spirit, even as his body was confined. What excuse do we have for spiritual complacency when freedom surrounds us? Your connection to God is the lifeline that will sustain you through this reset. Every prayer strengthens your armor. Every moment of quiet reflection sharpens your discernment. Every act of obedience reinforces your spiritual core. Can you feel the urgency? The signs are everywhere, but those unprepared will call them coincidence. You know better. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. This isn't just about avoiding darkness, it's about opening to the light. The divine cleansing is coming, and it will wash away everything false, old wounds, limiting beliefs, habitual sins. It will strip away what no longer serves God's purpose in you. But this isn't punishment, it's preparation. Will you see this season as suffering or sanctification? Think of Helen Keller, who despite being blind and deaf, became a symbol of hope and intellect. She didn't let what she lacked define her purpose. With the help of her teacher, Anne Sullivan, she stepped into a life of depth and influence. Likewise, your past limitations are no match for the spiritual gifts God is awakening in you now. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. Ezekiel 36:26. Chosen one, as you protect your spirit, you are creating space for elevation. The more you align with God, the more He entrusts you with power, spiritual authority, prophetic insight, and peace that transcends human logic. You're not just being cleansed, you're being called. This reset is God's holy reset, first in you, then through you. And yes, this reset is divine intervention. The world has drifted far from its spiritual axis. Materialism has overtaken meaning. Fear has replaced faith. Confusion now clouds truth. God sees it all, and in His mercy, He is acting. Do you understand the mercy behind the shaking? The divine reset is not wrath. It's realignment. If my people, who are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray, then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. 2 Chronicles 7:14. Consider Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, a soft-spoken TV host who used his platform not for fame, but for healing. In an age of rising violence and division, he spoke about kindness, identity, and spiritual worth. Through simplicity, he ignited transformation. You don't need to be loud to lead, you just need to be aligned. You must now ask yourself, what needs to be cleansed from my life? What clutter is clouding my ability to hear God's voice? What relationships, habits, or thought patterns are keeping me spiritually numb? This reset is not merely a world event. It is a personal invitation, one that says, come closer, go deeper, let go, rise higher. Yes, the world will feel the tremors, but you will feel the call. You will sense the moment when the spiritual wind shifts, and in that moment, your clarity will return. Your strength will be renewed. Your gifts will begin to activate at full capacity. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Like Sojourer of Truth, who rose from slavery to become a preacher, activist, and voice of liberation, you too are being raised up. Her name wasn't symbolic, it was prophetic. She told the truth and carried it like a flame into darkness. That's your calling now, to be a bearer of truth in a time of chaos. So, chosen one, this is not just an alert. It is your personal commissioning. You are not just witnessing the reset, you are part of the reason for it. You are not just being cleansed, you are being crowned. You are not just holding on, you are rising into everything you were made to be. The reset is here. Your spirit must be protected, your purpose must be pursued, and your alignment must be intentional. Chosen one, what you're sensing in your spirit is real. A wave unlike any other is rising across the earth, not made of water, but of divine power. It's a spiritual surge that will challenge, cleanse, and shift the very fabric of reality. And this wave isn't simply coming for the world, it's coming for you. It is here to test everything you believe, everything you've practiced, and everything you've been called to become. Have you been feeling it lately? The pressure mounting, the quiet urgency in your soul, the unshakable sense that change is already underway. That is not anxiety. That is not coincidence. That is the Spirit of God preparing you for the ultimate spiritual test, one that will not just reveal who you are, but refine who you are becoming. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. Isaiah 48:10. This wave isn't just a moment, it's a mirror. It will show you the depth of your faith, the strength of your roots, and the clarity of your alignment with God's purpose. Some will stand in the storm and rise. Others will be swept away by the current of confusion, doubt, and distraction. And that difference won't be random. It will be determined by how spiritually prepared you are right now. So, are you ready to ride this divine wave, or will you be overtaken by it? Are you rooted enough in truth to thrive when everything around you begins to shake? Look at Martin Luther, who sparked the Protestant Reformation. He didn't just wake up one morning with clarity. His courage to stand against centuries of religious corruption came from years of prayer, study, and spiritual wrestling. He was prepared. He saw the signs. And when the wave came, he didn't flinch. He led. Chosen one, the reset is not merely an event on the horizon. It is unfolding now, in real time. You're not preparing for the future. You're standing in it. To be ready means more than just knowing scripture or saying prayers. It means embodying your faith in such a way that even when the world around you is in chaos, your spirit remains calm, anchored, and immovable. It's about having a clear mind, a fortified heart, and a sensitive spirit. When others are panicking, you will be listening. When others are guessing, you will be hearing. Because the chosen ones don't move with fear, they move with faith. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Psalm 27:1. Consider Corrie ten Boom, a woman who faced unspeakable horrors in a Nazi concentration camp. She lost her family, her comfort, her freedom, but she never lost her faith. Her secret: she was spiritually ready long before the testing began. Her spirit had been trained in prayer, refined in forgiveness, and anchored in God. When the wave came for her, it didn't drown her, it revealed her. That's what this divine wave will do. It will not just test your faith, it will expose its quality. It will separate the surface level from the surrendered, the religious from the righteous, the comfortable from the consecrated. So what will it look like to be spiritually prepared? It looks like waking each day with intention, starting in prayer before you open your phone, declaring truth even when you don't feel it, saying no to what pulls you away from your assignment, saying yes to quiet time with God, even when the world is loud. It means training your inner ear to hear His voice in the smallest signs and greatest storms. But the people who know their God shall be strong and do exploits. Daniel 11:32. Think of Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years. The world thought his power was fading, but in secret he was preparing, reading, meditating, listening, forgiving. So when freedom came, he didn't just walk out, he led a nation. He didn't crumble under the weight of the wave. He became the tide that changed history. So, what are you doing in your waiting season? Are you building your spirit or numbing your soul? Are you preparing for the wave or pretending it isn't coming? Make no mistake, the divine reset is already underway, and while it will test you, it is also your greatest opportunity for growth. The wave is not here to destroy, it is here to elevate. It's not meant to crush your purpose, it's here to activate it. So do not throw away your confidence, it will be richly rewarded. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Hebrews 10:35-36. During this time, you will begin to see signs, divine signals that God is moving. They won't always be dramatic. Sometimes they'll show up in the smallest details, a peaceful moment in the middle of noise, a phrase that jumps out from a book, a friend who says the exact thing your spirit needed, a dream that lingers, an unexpected door opening just when you considered giving up. These are not coincidences, they are heaven's breadcrumbs, leading you through the wilderness. Look at Rosa Parks, who changed history by sitting down. That one act was the fruit of 100 spiritual decisions. Decisions to stay faithful, stay ready, stay listening. When the moment came, she didn't question. It was already in her. Her spirit had been waiting for the wave, and she met it with courage. So how do you tune into these divine signals? You slow down. You listen more than you speak. You protect your peace. You create margin for God to speak. You remove distractions, some of which may be disguised as entertainment, relationships, or even obligations. You live with spiritual intentionality, not spiritual autopilot. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. Chosen one, the divine reset is not passive, it's participatory. It demands that you act, that you lean into the shift, not hide from it, that you choose faith when fear is the easier option, that you move when God says move, even if the ground looks unstable. You are not being tested because you're weak. You are being tested because you're ready, ready to go deeper, ready to be promoted, ready to become who you've always been in God's eyes. The wave is coming, and you're either going to rise with it or retreat beneath it. But here's the beautiful promise. God is not leaving you to face this alone. He is giving you signs. He is stirring your spirit. He is equipping you with wisdom, discernment, and favor, not just to survive, but to thrive. This wave will awaken your gifts. It will purge your pride. It will stretch your faith. It will clarify your calling. And when it has passed, you will not be the same. You will be stronger, sharper, brighter, closer, bolder. Because what God is doing in you now is not temporary. It is eternal. This is your moment. This is your test, and you were born for it. So rise, chosen one. Strengthen your faith, protect your spirit, discern the signs, and prepare to ride the divine wave that will transform everything you know, starting with you. Chosen one, now that you've received this message, it's no longer just a word. It's a spiritual transaction. You've just been equipped with divine clarity, and that clarity now carries weight. It marks a new chapter in your life, one of awakening, alignment, and action. The wave is not coming, it's already here, and because of that, your moment to step fully into who you are has arrived. Everything you've endured, every silent night of questioning, every setback that felt like defeat, every strange season that made no sense, was preparation. And now, with each shift in the spiritual atmosphere, you're starting to see why. The pain had a purpose, the delay had a design, the quiet had a call embedded within it. And this message, it was a divine confirmation that you were right to believe all along, right to hold on when it would have been easier to walk away, right to trust when there was no evidence, right to stay pure when compromise was applauded. God saw it, Heaven recorded it. And now the reward is unfolding, not just externally, but within you. This message wasn't for entertainment, it was for empowerment. It wasn't just to inform you, it was to awaken what has been dormant. And if your spirit stirred while listening or reading, if something inside you started to rise up, then you already know you are not who you used to be. You're stronger now, sharper, more spiritually alert. You're no longer asleep to the calling on your life. You are ready, not perfect, but ready. And that readiness is all God needed to move. Let me take a moment now to speak directly to your heart and say, thank you. Thank you for being part of this sacred moment. Thank you for your time, your openness, and your willingness to listen, not just to my voice, but to the Holy Spirit behind these words. Whether this is your first encounter with this channel, or you've been walking this journey alongside us for a while, your presence here is not taken lightly. You are part of a remnant, a spiritual family of those who hear God's call and actually respond. And that obedience, that hunger, that faith, it matters more than you may ever realize. If this message has spoken to your soul, if you felt confirmation or clarity, and you wish to support the continuation of these prophetic teachings, you can do so through super thanks right below this video. Your support helps us keep producing powerful, spirit-led messages that reach others around the world who are desperate for truth in a time of noise. But hear me clearly, whether you give or not, you are deeply valued. Your presence alone is a blessing. Your attention, your engagement, and your faith already mean the world to us. Giving is never required. It's simply an invitation for those who feel led to sow into what God is doing through this platform. And now, chosen one, I leave you with this blessing, not just as a farewell, but as a spiritual seal over your life in this season of reset. May the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your heart and mind as you walk into the unknown. May your discernment grow sharper, your spiritual ears more attuned, and your heart more deeply aligned with the frequency of heaven. May every lie that tried to define you be broken, and may the truth of who God says you are rise up and take its rightful place in your soul. May every distraction lose its grip on your focus. May every delay transform into divine timing. And may every wound be turned into wisdom that guides you forward in purpose. You were not created for chaos. You were born for clarity. You are not a product of confusion. You are a vessel of conviction. You are not here to blend in. You are here to rise up and lead. God has chosen you for such a time as this. And as the divine reset unfolds across the earth, your light will not grow dim. It will shine brighter, not because of your own strength, but because the fire within you was placed there by God Himself. And that fire cannot be extinguished. May favor chase you. May wisdom protect you. May doors open that no man can shut. And may you walk boldly in the calling that heaven has declared over your life since the beginning of time. You are chosen, you are covered, you are unstoppable. Now go forward with power, stay grounded in prayer, stay focused on purpose. And remember, no matter what comes, you are not alone. The same God who called you is the one who will carry you through. Until next time, stay strong, stay faithful, and never forget, you were born for this moment.